Let us solve the exercise number 7 in the part A of a Python lab. In this exercise, we are supposed to write a program using user-defined exception class that will ask the user to enter a number until he guesses the number correctly. To help them to figure out, a hint is provided whether the guessed number is greater than or less than the stored number, and all of them has to be done using a user exception. So what is being done is you take one secret number and ask the user to guess this number. If the number is less, you write a user-defined exception saying that your guess is smaller. If the number that the user guesses is greater than the secret number, then you raise an exception and say that the number is greater than your guess is greater than the secret, and keep on doing it until the user correctly guesses the given number. So that is what we are supposed to do it. So let's go ahead and let's do that thing. I'm going to go to the Visual Studio, and I will first get the folder where I'm supposed to store my files. I will select the proper folder, and I can see all my files here. I'm going to start a new file, and I'm going to call this one as a7.py because this is my exercise. You can give some other name also. Let me close the Explorer part. Now let's write the exception class. So I'm going to create a class called as greater than, and this is going to inherit from the exception class. And what is this is going to do is it's not going to do anything. Okay, we are just creating a class. Similarly, I'm going to create one more class called as smaller than, and it is also extending out of exception. And what it's going to do is it's not going to do anything. It's going to just pass the content. Now let's come to the main program. Let us take the secret number, and I'm going to take the secret number as 50. You can take anything. So what the user has to do is the user has to guess what is this number. If the secret number is not told to the user, so they have to guess this number. If their guess is smaller, then you are going to raise this exception. If their guess is greater than, then you are going to raise this exception. So every time the user guesses a number, you check whether the number that is the user is guessing is less than this or greater than this. If it is less than, you raise the smaller than exception. Otherwise, you raise the greater than exception. If the guess is same as the secret number, then you say that you have guessed it properly. So let's because it has to be continuously done, let us use the while loop until the user guesses it properly. So this while loop is going to do a lot of things, and finally if you are coming out of this while loop, that means to say that you have guessed it properly. So you have let me say you guessed it properly, or you guessed it correct. Okay. So now the question that is going to come over here is, let us use try catch because you know very well. You have to have two exception here. I'm going to write this except part first. So what is this except first? There are two except. One is greater than. If the person clicks on the greater than, I'm going to just print then and then say that it is greater than. Nothing else to be done. So I'm going to say guess is greater. Okay. And I'm going to use slash here, so definitely. And let me use one more exception. And what is this one more exception? And one more exception is smaller than. So let us say smaller than. And what is that I'm going to do here is I'm going to say guess is smaller. Okay. GUESS is smaller. Okay, let's write it in this only small case only. The two exceptions are there. Now I will have to ask the user to enter that number. So let me ask the user to enter the number. So I'm going to use the user guess, and I'm going to say integer part because it is an integer number. So I'm going to say input. The number that I've stored here is integer. That is why I'm making it as an integer here. Okay. So then I'm going to ask the user enter your guess. Okay. Or enter a number, whatever it is, just call that thing. Now, yeah, I'm going to check if the guess that the user is doing is greater than the secret number. So that means to say I have to raise the exception. So I'm going to say raise greater than exception. Okay. Next one is elif. If the guess is smaller than this number, so if it is smaller than the secret, then I'm going to raise less than. Sorry, I use the smaller than. Okay. Now, if that is not the case, then I'm going to break the loop here. So you notice here, so I'm first asking this is my secret number. I'm asking the user to guess a number. If the number is greater than the secret, then I'm going to raise this exception and I'm going to print and say that guess is greater. Suppose if the number is smaller than, then I'm going to raise this exception and I'm going to print that. If that is not the case, then I'm going to come out of the while loop. And so this while loop will break here with that this break. And I'm going to print and say that you have guessed it correctly. So let me run the program and let's see what it is going to do. So my secret is 50. So I'm going to type 60. So when I type the 60, you are going to get this option, and because 60 is greater, so my guess was, you notice, my guess was, let me show it here, slightly bring it down. So my guess here, so my secret here was 50. Now what I've entered here is 60. So 60 is greater than the secret. So I will raise this exception, greater than exception. And in the greater than exception, what I'm doing is I'm only saying that guess is greater. And that is what I'm showing, guess is greater. Because this while loop is continuous while loop, it's going to come back to the while loop and it's going to ask the next number. Let me type the number as 40 here. My guess is 40. Now this guess, my secret number is 50 here and my guess this time is 40. So it's going to raise this exception, smaller than exception, and you're going to see the guess is smaller. Now I'm going to just type the proper number 50 here and you will get this, suppose if the number is not greater, not smaller, you are going to break this while loop. So you're going to break this while loop. When you break this while loop, what you get, just to show it here. So if you break this while loop, and you come out of this while loop, what you have here is you guessed it correct. And that is what I'm showing here. You guessed it correct. That's all in this program. Thank you for your interest. We will meet again in the other exercise. Thank you.